Hi guys, this is part 2 of the SOOMLA profile tutorial that I'm doing. So in this part we're going to look at configuration. So we're going to very quickly have a look at configuring SOOMLA profile once we have imported it into our project. So once again we're using the Crazy Drive little game, and so just very quickly summarizing, in the last lesson what we did, we installed or imported the SOOMLA profile, and we did so from the GitHub Unity 3D profile there, and our structure looks okay. We've got Facebook there. We have also moved the scripts folder from Facebook into plugins, so we've got a Facebook there and we've got scripts in there. So that folder scripts was moved from Facebook into there, so that looks okay. Our splash screen has got the profile events there and the core events, so that looks okay, and the corresponding script file is there as well. So for core events, we have core events and all that. So it looks okay. It looks like we're ready to start configuring it. So the first thing to do is really start. Let's just start going down through here. Whenever you come and install the latest version of profile, start working down this page and you will get there. So first of all, download core first and then profile. We've done that in the first part. Drag the core events and profile events into a scene. We've done that. SOOMLA edit set and change the value for SOOMLA secret. So we've talked about that in the first part of this tutorial, but to do that, go to SOOMLA edit settings, and that's the secret there, SOOMLA secret. And SOOMLA secret is really like a password, if you like a key that encrypts your on the device database to keep it secure, so that hackers can't access your data and change things like the score and everything else. So we've done that, and make sure you don't forget this SOOMLA secret. Back it up. I use KeePass for my stuff, and it's really good. So then we've done that. We go down here. So you don't need to worry about this. Call on social, so otherwise. So all this I'll show you in part 3 as well. Then we go further down. Unit 3 structure support. When upgrading this mode, it's important that you uncheck and recheck. I'll talk about that in a second. Facebook, we went and downloaded the Facebook SDK in the first part, and we did we moved the scripts from the Facebook into assets plugins Facebook, so we've done all that. Then it's talking about going and fixing this thing. Please follow the extra steps. So these are some extra steps, so we're gonna do that very quickly. And now we're gonna go to let me just take out of this. We're gonna go to Facebook editor, and we're gonna find this fix up here, and we're gonna open it up. And I should have had this open already, but we won't have to wait too long. So what we need to do is go to header paths right there, and rather than it being Facebook scripts, we need to add this right there, because we've moved the scripts from Facebook scripts to plugins Facebook scripts. So that is done. Then we go down and talks about Twitter and the Twitter tick boxes. So we're gonna go into it now, and I'm not doing Google Plus. I'll come to do that at some point, but and we're gonna look at the code in part 3. So let's start with the configuration. So first of all, Facebook edit settings. and we're going to edit the Facebook settings. So first of all, you need the name. Make sure you get the name correct there. So just there we go, Crazy Drive. And then the app ID, and the app ID you get it from your Facebook developer console. You will have an app ID, and you take this app ID and you here. So that's done. Then you will see a few settings here. These are more or less general for everybody. There's a key here for debug. So it's a debug hash key. That is not the actual hash key that is used on the device to communicate with Facebook. So I'll talk about that. In fact, I'll do that right now. As a debug, you can click this regenerate Android manifest when you're getting some problems. So that is a button that you can tick, and what it does, it just regenerates it. So let me just talk about. Okay, so we're gonna very quickly have a look at the debug Android key hash. This one is only for according to my understanding, it's just for debug, for you to use it inside Unity, because the Facebook SDK, what it does, it uses its an Android player settings, and then if you go down to publishing settings, whenever you build your game, you need to define a key store here and then a key for it. So the Facebook SDK uses this key store here. So if you're having trouble, you can go to the answers, and inside this thread here, I'm explaining the painstaking way of creating the proper hash key. Now in here, the way that I found on the internet to create a hash key for the Facebook is go and download OpenSSL, copy it to the C drive, do all this stuff. But then in the instructions, they have got this debug key store. Now you can use that to create your debug key, which is that one there. But in order to create the real one that will be used when you deploy it to the device, you need to use the key store that you have defined in your Unity project. So this is the key store that Facebook will use to create its hash key. Now, one way to do it, as I've explained here, use that key store, and wherever the hash key it spits out, you need to go to your Facebook dashboard, and inside the Android platform you need to paste it here under the key hashes, and if you are outputting your game to the iOS, then you are going to have to click add platform and add the iOS platform as well. Now the iOS platform doesn't have a hash key, just the Android, but that's what you need to do. I mean, the other way that I'm explaining to get it, if you wanted it a quick and easy way, is on login complete. If you go to this method, what it does, it actually handles the hash key, and you could probably print it to screen or do something like that. Also, failing everything, just switch on all the debugging. So you could switch on, and you will see it in the log cut, the actual key. So you can do that. So that is more or less the Facebook done. So that's Facebook done. You've got the name, you've got the app ID, you've got the hash key, which you need to do it, and then go and paste it in your settings under the key hashes, and then you can switch on single sign-on if you want for the app to remember, so that the user doesn't sign in all the time. Now that's done. So the next thing to do is to configure SOOMLA. So if we go to layout, so you've got your secret, we've talked about that. What you need to do is tick the Facebook and Twitter tick boxes, and sometimes for debugging purposes, if you untick it and tick them again, then what it does, it copies the files that it needs. So sometimes if it doesn't work, just untick these check boxes and then tick them back, and that will just regenerate or recopy all the files that it needs. Now what you need here is the consumer key and the consumer secret for the Twitter account, and to get that you need to go to your Twitter account, to your Twitter app actually, and under key and access tokens you will see the consumer key and you will see the consumer secret, and you copy those and you paste them into that place in the game. Now for Twitter, make sure you go to the settings and fill in everything. You've got a callback URL. Make sure you fill that in. Twitter is very funny about the way you specify this URL, so make sure it starts with HTTP. I was starting with www and it wasn't accepting it, so be careful you do that. And I think this is more or less it. You should be up and running now. That's all the configuration that you need to do to get the Twitter and Facebook working. So that's it for now. This is the tutorial. Next part I'll be looking at the actual code, so we'll look at the code part in the next tutorial.